So the Wyoming Stock Growers Association has to come on the program. Jim Magagna is on with us. Thank you for joining us this morning to talk about this.
Appreciate the opportunity, Glenn.
Yeah, vital industry for the state. So what are you folks going through now? You just heard from oil and gas industries and also the tourist industry and small businesses. What does it look for you folks out there?
Well, the impact is a little different for our people because life on the ranch goes on every day. The animals have to be cared for. This hit at a time of the year when people are entering into calving season. So from a practical perspective at home, some were a little bit thankful that the kids had to stay home from school and they had a little extra help when they needed it. But as people look at marketing their animals, that's where we're feeling the primary negative impact. Those who finish cattle and have them ready to go to the processing plants have had a hard time moving them recently because of plant closures, and prices have been extremely low. The largest part of our industry here in Wyoming are the cow-calf producers, and they're more living in fear today of what they're going to be looking at when marketing season comes late summer and early fall.
So what is the state of those prices right now, Mr. Magagna?
What we've seen that has really disturbed us and has everyone upset is that prices for live cattle, particularly finished cattle going to market, have been off by 30% and more from what we were experiencing 3 months, 4 months ago. And then even we didn't have a strong market. And yet we're sitting back and watching the price of boxed beef as people in the grocery stores, you've all seen, have emptied the meat cases out, taking the beef home. The price of that boxed beef have gone up very significantly during that same time period. So the spread is something beyond what we've experienced in the past.
And I saw some coverage of this in the Casper Star-Tribune. I mean, it's essentially an allegation of price gouging by the meat packers. Am I reading that right?
That's really what it is. Not necessarily. We don't know at this point if they're doing anything that's illegal.
Sure.
That's why we're calling for some investigation. But certainly, at this particular time, it's hard not to see that they are making a huge return on their investment buying these live cattle and then marketing boxed meat.
And you mentioned a difference in price from now to a few months ago, but even then you said the market was not particularly strong. So this issue with the prices right now and what producers are able to glean here in Wyoming, that's not strictly a result of the coronavirus pandemic, is it? It seems like this is a longer-term issue.
It is a longer-term issue. We peaked about 4 years ago with some relatively strong prices for cattle, and we've been at marginal levels, maybe break-even levels with the way I'd put it for most ranchers for the past 2 years.
So those of us who rely on stock growers here in Wyoming and appreciate what they do, how can we support them?
Well, we're doing a couple of things. We have kind of a two-pronged approach. The first is we have reached out to President Trump, to Attorney General William Barr, directly with letters asking for a full investigation, because I think the first point we need to determine, are there any laws being broken here? Mm-hmm. There's the Packers and Stockyards Act, which governs a lot of what takes place, and see if there are any of those. But beyond that, and once we have some answers to that, this has been kind of a wake-up call for our industry that we face some fundamental structural problems where we have literally thousands of producers across the nation, ranging in size from a few head each to a few thousand head each. But most of that supply is all being fed through about 4 major meat processing businesses in the nation.
Thank you for coming on this morning.
Yes, sir. Thanks for joining us.
And the information.